got this moonshine style malt beverage made in the Blue Ridge Mountains, it says. Seems like an appropriate beverage for this bluegrass country we're in. That is basically Mad Dog 2020. It's ridiculous. It's gonna be not the most pleasant trip in this car, but the thing about these is that you're completely invisible if you duck down. I mean, you can guaranteed not be spotted in here. They're also really noisy. View from this trestle up here. I wonder if it's deep enough to dive in. Somewhere in southern Kentucky right now. It's kind of hard to watch the scenery when I'm in this car. It more lends itself to just lying down and kind of napping through some of this. We're getting close to Tennessee and it's getting a lot more rugged. This country here, I really wish there were leaves on the tree. It'd be a lot prettier. But we got pine trees almost to the Tennessee border. Down blanket going. I don't know when it's going to warm up. Getting into Atlanta, and it's got to be like 30 degrees. Just got to keep going further south. I think this train might go to Macon because there's not any trains from Norfolk Southern that go to Atlanta. So from Macon, I can get one more train to Jacksonville. That is a dead raccoon. Parked out here on this siding for a little bit. Seems like a good time to explain. This rail car that I've been on, it's one of the more interesting kinds. They're not that common, at least out west where I'm from. However, out here I've been seeing more. Some people call these the Cadillac grainer. Now, let's point out the first thing. This is not an actual grainer. These carry some kind of chemicals. They always have this apparatus. On the bottom, it's pretty clear that chute, whatever comes out of that, that's not grain. These rail cars are fairly old. I don't think they're in production anymore. Just another fun tidbit here. This placard, which is completely rusted over here, will tell you when the car was built and when it was last refurbished. However, this one obviously we're out of luck. Okay, we got BLT. This was built in 1995. Trinity, I'm guessing Trinity, yeah, here we go, manufactured by Trinity. TRN New York Stock Exchange symbol. So I haven't been seeing much of these recently built. Doesn't mean they're not being made. I don't pay that much attention. So the brake side here, you could still get in these, definitely. You could, all four of these compartments have room for riders. So what you have here is two fairly decent sized compartments in this rail car on each end. And another fun fact, why do I know that it's not gonna go right now? Is because this brake, whatever it's called, this is pushed out. That's gotta be in order for the brakes to be released. Meaning right now, this thing ain't going anywhere. That said, I don't generally recommend hanging out on the coupler unless you're positive the train isn't gonna go somewhere. And because there's a lot of morons out there, I just say don't do it. All right, now you hear the brakes charging and you see this guy moving in. See that? He's pushing that in. That means it's no longer safe to be just hanging out and about in between the car. Really, see what's going in there? Just kind of nudging in. So let's take a look inside these compartments. Looking in here, you've got a lot of room in there. You could fit 3 people in this one, at least. I'm in this one. I mean, I've got everything in there, and when I'm in there, I'm out of sight. See that? See that little guy all the way in there now. All right, so we're moving. I'm gonna go ahead and get in my compartment. One of the things you'll see, we don't have a porch. Some cleaners, they've got a porch where you can hang out. That would be a lot nicer if they would put that on here. It's not really safe to be sitting out here. It's really not safe to be getting in and out of here while it's moving. So the advantage of this car is I'm out of sight. Look at this. Nobody's ever gonna see me in here. You could go through any kind of infrared even. If you really had to, you could get in between in here, which would be impossible to spot with x-ray. The main problem with these is it's very difficult to get on a moving rail car and get in the compartment or get off. Additionally, my pack is so big, it barely fits in this hole. I had to really stuff the thing in. So you're pretty much committed to getting on and off stopped, which can make a difference. We're going to be coming into the Macon yard in a few hours. There may be an obvious place where I could get off stopped. Or, I'm sorry, get off moving. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. I may be deep in the yard by the time I get off this. And that is the drawback of this. You also can't see that much scenery. You can see some, but you don't get the wide open panoramic view. This position, it's hard to find a comfortable posture for just looking out. Because like this, it starts to get on my back and it's hard to just sit up straight. I think if you had a camp chair, it would be ideal. So these rail cars, they're not my favorite, but I really like the security in here. I mean, I'm safe in here. There's no wind or rain that can get in here. That's basically where it wins. This is the most secure, weatherproof rail car you can get. Going past another one of these way out in the countryside intermodal yards. I believe this is Austell, if I'm saying that right. It's got a huge fence. It does not look like you want to pull into there, and I'm glad I'm on this GM. Intermodals are faster, but they can pull into that thing, and that's got, I see 2 layers of fences around that thing. The advantage of these general manifest trains is they're not high priority. That's a disadvantage as well, but I'd say there's not a high value cargo on these things. Going into these yards that are double fenced off here, like in Austell, Georgia, out here in the woods. I'm glad to be on this. This isn't gonna pull into double barbed wire at any point. junction area in Atlanta. It's a CSX train. Looks like he's going south. We're going south. Downtown Atlanta. This is Atlanta. I gotta say, with the size of my pack and the weight, I just don't ever feel like getting off anymore if I don't have to. It's the downtown area. They're building a new football stadium right there. Don't ask me why or what's wrong with the old one. That's the CNN parking lot, I'm pretty sure. 90% sure. Here's a cool tag on this ADM loaded grain car. Stopped out here between Atlanta and Macon. It's pretty swampy. The scenery down in this area, I mean, it's cool to see once. It's not like out west where you want to go out and explore. It's warmed up too. It's getting to the point where it may start being too hot. And that's a fast switch. It really annoys me that it's so hard to find a correct brisk temperature. It's usually either too hot or too cold. Looking through here, things are getting swampy. Probably swamp crocodiles lurking beneath the surface of that nasty looking water. The plan from here is to stay on until Macon, resupply there, and then hopefully board a night southbound intermodal to Jacksonville. As far as I know, every stack train through Macon is either going north to Atlanta or south to Jacksonville. There's a bunch of splits to Brunswick and Savannah, but I don't think intermodal takes any of those splits. I hate to bring up this point on this trip, but something going on. I don't know if it's just age or what, but I'm gaining weight on this trip. I'm not pigging out. I'm not drinking extreme amounts of beer. And my stomach just keeps getting bigger and nastier. And I don't know what that's about, but I'm gonna have to cut something back. I'm not gonna get a big beer gut in life. I'm not gonna be a big fat guy to drink beer. So that means I gotta cut back on input. That's what it means. I can tell I'm getting close. I'm, 2 or 3 miles out. Got everything packed up here. Time to get out and Macon. It's warmed up. I think I've itched the cold for good. Got a nice, pleasant looking river there. Unfortunately, down south, you jump in, you get covered with leeches and ticks. Some kind of a graveyard here. To get off here, I gotta push this pack out. It's a major tight fit, and I'm just hoping we're gonna stop. See if I can even fit this enormous pack out here. Yesterday, I couldn't even get the thing in without a lot of work. And that's it. Arrival in Macon. Picked up the hobo. First time in Macon, I gotta say, I got a positive impression so far. We got this junction area up here where I'm pretty sure that's Savannah. That's obviously Atlanta. Train's creeping through, wide open. Looks like it's pretty low key. You got the town right over there. So I'll be interested to see if the stacks are gonna come through at this speed, so I could just wait here. I can get on a train at this speed. I'd also like to say, I don't recommend to anybody to get off the way I did there. I've got 100,000 miles under my belt, so I've got more of a feel for this stuff. But that's a way to get smushed by the train, so don't do that on that kind of car unless you're real confident that you know what you're doing. Because one slip and you're a pancake, and your arms and legs won't grow back. I'm now going to change clothes into something that doesn't draw attention from the home guard crowd. There's a lot of guys I can tell who live around here. There's a lot of tents. That's fine. I don't have any problem with those guys, but you know, I'd rather not hang out or whatever. Usually it doesn't, it just ends up with drinking and arguing. These nice trendy shorts here. Use one of these wipes here, get all clean enough. I can't stand being fetid and gross. Some people are into it, I can't stand it. Well, this is Macon, Georgia. I'd heard about it in advance that it was kind of run down, and so far it's turning out to be correct. There's a lot of museums around here. Here's the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. I'm trying to think of something less interesting than that. I guess some of the old Braves are probably in there, maybe Jackie Robinson, Ted Williams, so whatever. There's another museum there, Tubman African American Art. That's cool, you can go check that out if you come down here. You got this main street. From my understanding, there used to be a lot of industry going on in this town, and it's all more or less gone. Doesn't seem that vibrant right now. It's a nice setting. It's a really nice temperature. This place it's too hot in the summer. This is just right. It's about 60. I got shorts and a t-shirt on. I don't want it to get any warmer than this. This is adequate right now. I showed up at the right time. It only happens one day a week or one day a month here. A lot of places do this first Friday, but not many have started already in March, so that's a good sign. Summer has started down here. You got this guy playing disco. I mean, I guess there's like a music history thing here too. A bunch of southern bands from the 60s and 70s are from here. This band, these guys actually are pretty decent, and they look like they're a lot younger than me, which is really impressive. I didn't know any millennials that bothered to learn an instrument anymore. You might just call it gentrification. It seems like there is some of that going on here, but you still got a good amount of stuff boarded up. I'm amazed to hear millennials playing actual good music. I'm really impressed. So I just gotta say to today's millennials, you're not cool because you got Insta, you're not cool because you got Snapchat and social media. These guys are actually legit cool. They know how to play instruments. Stop being an idiot in front of your computer. Go pick up an instrument and join a band like this or any other band. It's a lot better than what today's kids are doing most of the time. This is definitely the deep south. Look at that turret up there. What's going on in this place? Oh, look at you. You want some cat food? Whatever. I ain't got time for it. I think just due to time and time constraints, I think I'm coming back through here on the way back. I think I'm gonna ditch tonight, head south, because I think there's a fleet of trains running to Jacksonville, and from what I can tell, they're all gonna be, because I saw all three of them run through Kentucky in the afternoon. That would put them here sometime in the very early morning hours, if I'm doing this correctly. So I'm gonna jet tonight. I'm gonna come back here and check out some more of the town. It's not bad so far. It's cold. It's ridiculous though. It's like gotta be 30 degrees out here in March, which is just a little chilly for me. I need gloves on my hands. Get up the following morning, high speed south. And it's still cold. It doesn't matter. I don't know when it's gonna warm up. It's still freaking chilly. Very good. Close to freaking Florida. March. chicken. I want it so bad. But not happening. The train is going fast. This is a fast line. The topography has pretty much totally flattened out. And this train's been doing at least 60 since Macon. It's not a joke. Down into the swamps. Not sure if we've crossed the border yet. That is not a good place. You want to get stuck. Nasty. Looks like we're approaching a yard here. I'm gonna get off well before it looks like the yard. I'm coming into a new area. I get off definitely before I'm in the security zone, which could be past this bridge up here. It often turns out I could have stayed on longer, but this way, guaranteed. In like Flynn, Jacksonville. My first time here. Nice and clean. Alright, it's downsized to a smaller pack. I got a lot less stuff in here because I'm going south, as you can see. Mission is already basically accomplished to get out of the cold. It's time to go even further south.